and I stand on this. Anybody that was in anywhere that I be in these institutions, Crip, Blood, or whatever from Los Angeles, we was one on that yard. Period. Especially the feds.
Be very careful who you talk to, because you'll never know who the informant is, who the cooperating witness may be, and you never know somebody who was a friend today may have been flipped the night before and become your enemy tomorrow.
About humanity, putting truth in these lines, while they busy feeding lies. When you got that tunnel vision, gotta open up your eyes. Wake up and go to sleep. Man, I'm praying all times. And to my guys, ain't no other side. This for my brothers, I'ma pray with y'all shine. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Lock the door. Go ahead, lock the door. Yeah, you already know.
Depending on the lessons, some people eat, some people learn. But the game is going to send you a bill. Lock the door.
Marcellus and Bam saying they love. Bam said you was just selling.
Yeah. Yeah, me and Bam was at Chino together. That's my, like I say, second time to the pen. It was his first time.
Mm.
You know, and Marcellus, I got to start to see Marcellus when I was called back down from the pen, you know. So yeah, they was up in there, you know, they was seeing like the aftermath of the situation, you know, when they came, you know, it was a lot of set tripping and all that old bullshit was beginning up in there, you know. But they got a chance to go to the pen and see, you know, the different types of structures that were getting forth, you know. But I respected them. You know, the funny thing about it, I didn't understand how society had hooked us all up and put us in there like that until later on in life, man. And I did, you know, the 22 years, get about the fed. After doing 22 years, I come home and I noticed all the people that I knew to come by the house, man, and they used to say, "Hoov, man, you know, we love you and we respect you, man. You know, you raised me." And I'm like, "Man, how the fuck I raised you?" But man, I was 18, 19 when I was in the pen with everybody. And then I thought about it. Damn, you know, shit, because they didn't too much know anything. Like, you know, they there, and you know, when you come in, you got to find your homie or something. And for the most part, them white folks used to send them all where I was, especially when I went to the feds. You know, all young people, man. And it made me feel kind of good, you know, knowing that, damn, you know, them dudes was young. But then I thought about when I first went, I was young too. But
talk about that evolution when you went from Clarence to Mad Hoover to Big. Talk about that evolution.
All right, you know, I caught all my cases pretty much out of Beverly Hills and Hollywood. And, you know, I went to some of the shrewdest courthouses that they had, and everybody at that time know that you didn't want to go to Santa Monica, you didn't want to go to Torrance, you didn't want to go to Long Beach, you didn't want to go Norwalk. You know, you didn't hear the story about all these racist judges and stuff like that. And so happened where I was during my crime was the areas, these courthouses we had to go to. So I was sitting in the courthouse and I met this dude, he was a old hog, and he was telling me, he said, man, I've been noticing you, man. He said, well, when you go to the pen, I think I ain't going to no motherfucking pen. I'm thinking I ain't going. I was naive to how these white folks going to carry me, right? But he said, yeah, when you get there, you're going to meet some dude. They're going to see you, ask you where you're from and all this and that. They're going to take you to the area where everybody eat at. You're going to sit down. And he said, but, you're going to start buffing iron, and you're going to get swole. And then they're going to start calling you Hoov. And then they're going to stop calling you Clarence. They're going to start calling you Big Hoov, I said, yeah, but my name Mad Hoov. My name ain't Clarence Hoov. They know about Mad Hoov. He said, no, but that's going to change because you're going to start buffing iron. And he told me my whole life story, what's going to happen to me when I went to the pen. And on my mama, everything that guy told me, I went through. Yeah, wow. So I don't know, what that was all about. But then I was able to look at a guy when he come in and get to know him. You can't really give your opinion about a person if you don't know him. I mean, you could give an opinion, but it's not going to be accurate. Like if you know a person,
Right.
That's why they used to give us 90-day observations, the court, so we can go there and they can look at us for 90 days. And then when we go back to court, they pretty much know our character because they had observation of us for 90 days. You feel me? So their opinion would be more accurate than a person just trying to find you guilty and don't know nothing about you. You feel me? So I kind of watched the guy, seen his demeanor, his persona and all, and I was able to tell him, yeah, man, this was going to happen to you, and be pretty much accurate of what I tell him, And the hardest thing about me was when all the homies came, especially during that crack area, they was mad at how the government was doing them. And they was like, had zero, confrontment. Meaning that their confrontment was like zero. Wasn't no negotiation, wasn't no nothing. They didn't have that type of structure. And a lot of them, like, oh man, I ain't never getting out, and I said, you want to get out, man, but this is how you got to do it. No. And one thing I can't say about me, and can't nobody else say no different, when I went and did my time, anybody, and I stand on this, anybody that was anywhere that I be in these institutions, Crip, Blood, or whatever from Los Angeles, we was one on that yard, period, especially the feds. And I stand on that. And everybody been around me, I didn't want to hear none of that old set tripping shit, that Crip and Blood shit. If we here together, we all as one from California, period.
Got it.
And that's how it was. Especially the Oakland car. They loved me because I was pushing that kind of line. And everybody that with me, all the hogs was pushing that kind of line too. We didn't disrespect. Huh?
I said Cali.
Yeah, ain't no question. Because, my whole perspective really came, I was able to do a lot of what I'm talking about throughout the federal system because I had already had the foundation. And then when I went to the federal system, I seen how, New York, D.C., and all these people was really actually hating on the California car. But you had hogs, like I told you, from every state too,
Uh-huh.
And you had some hogs from D.C. just like you had hogs from New York, and these niggas were straight hogs. And I told you what hogs was doing when you a hog,
Right.
They shut down shit. I don't care. You might have a gang from another place, but a hog, It's like, nigga, don't fuck with that nigga. That nigga, you know, he ain't with all that dumb shit. He ain't about that set tripping. So you ain't gonna disrespect him. You're not gonna do shit with him, but kill him. If you don't want to kill him, don't even fuck with him, because he's, you know, ain't on that funny shit like everybody else. He respected you and everything else. And you had a lot of brothers like that from D.C. You had a lot of niggas like that from Chicago and all of that, you know. Yeah. And I was able to get introduced to some good people, man, period. Some good people, man. They helped me throughout my little 22 years in the feds. You know, that's why I give a shout out, you know, to all the Arukas, GDs, Latin Kings, you name them. I give a shout out to all of them that was there with me, because I know all of them, and they know me. And they gave me a foundation. You know, I didn't know nothing about organizing and shit like that till I, you know, started going to the feds, really knowing about it. Although we had a little constitution down here in the state, you know, 3 or 4 of them later on in the process of doing time, you know. But yeah, they gave me the props, man. They gave me a route. That's why I was able to come home.
Cali Finest, baby. Proof of grind all the time. Music money. Got a dollar sign. Hoov City. I'm a street nigga, streets fuck with me. I'ma keep pushing products till the feds get me. It's guap off top, diamond Cartier. That nigga wall won't give a broke bitch the time of day. They see me climbing, they see me shining. That's hard work, proof of grinding. New money got me tipping in that 550. Ali, bad man, and I'm so pretty. I got that tech with me, that's my hater sprayer. Go big, grind now, nigga, play later. What can I say? I'm addicted to this paper stacking, and I don't talk about it, I just make it happen.